What's up, guys? Archangel Manga here, and you are watching my top 10 favorite shonen manga titles of 2015. It was actually around this time last year that I made my first top 10 shonen manga list. So I think this year is actually considerably different, or at least the order in which the manga titles that I featured last time are a little bit different. I'm going to get straight into it. There's a few new additions. I don't think I'm going to throw in any honourable mentions this time. Just, kind of depends. But yeah, I'm going to start off with an edition that was actually my top 10 favourite seinen manga last year, but now it's in my top 10 favourite shonen because it's actually mostly shonen. And that is coming at number 10. We have Neon Genesis Evangelion. I think when this was published in, I think from 1995 to 2009, this was published in a shonen magazine, and then from 2009 up to when the serialization finished, I believe in 2013. It was, considered seinen. It was published in a seinen, manga anthology. But the shonen element to this I really love. The shonen element. I haven't completed the series, but all of the series that I've read up to I think I've read up to volume 9. That's obviously shonen material, and it's absolutely brilliant. I love everything about this series. Obviously it's a controversial pick. Some people love it or either you love it or you hate it. That's kind of the thing with Neon Genesis Evangelion. But I for one absolutely love it. Coming in at number 9, another picker that was in my list from last year. That is Tezuka's Polo Song. Polo Song by Osamu Tezuka. A really dark shonen about a boy who just absolutely abhors the concept of love, whether it's making love, showing affection towards another. Even animals that are consummating, just mating or anything like that. He just hates the concept of love because he was, abused as a child and everything like that. Not really shonen material, but it's handled in a shonen way, and it's absolutely just amazing. One of my favorite shonens. It's absolutely amazing. I highly recommend it. Coming in at number 8, we have probably something that's at a lot of people's number 1, and that's Attack on Titan. Shingeki no Kyojin, the massive masterpiece, the massive anime and manga that everybody's been talking about for like the past 2 years. I really love Attack on Titan. The action is just amazing. The world that it's set in is a really unique setting, and the antagonists and the actual danger within the series is just really unique. Considering that's a shonen, it's actually really, really, really dark and really violent, and I think that's what a lot of people appreciate about this is that it doesn't really hold back anything. If this was published in something like Shonen Jump, then the author actually originally tried to get it published in Shonen Jump, and it would have been a completely different series, and it would have had loads of different shonen tropes that would drag the series down as a whole. But this has got a massive cult following now. Thanks to Hajime Isayama's freedom to tell the story that he wants to tell, and that's why Shingeki no Kyojin Attack on Titan is one of my favorite shonens. Okay, so coming in at number, where are we now? 10, 9, 8. Coming at number 7, something that's kind of dropped down from my favourite shonen from last year, and that is Claymore. I believe last year this was a little bit higher up, but I haven't really been reading much of it because it's come to an end now. It's finished at 27 volumes. I'm up to volume 24, and I'm not really looking forward to reading the last 3 volumes because I've just got the feeling that it's going to end really abruptly. So I've really been holding off on buying any more volumes. Obviously I don't think volume 25 is out yet, but even when volume 25 comes out, I'm just going to wait until all the volumes are out, and then just basically pick up the last 3 volumes and read them all in one sitting. But still, Claymore is an amazing series, basically described as the shonen version of Berserk. Having read Berserk now, I can definitely agree with that statement. You basically have badass females with big ass swords slashing, up demons, or Yoma, as they're called in this series. It's a really, really interesting premise, really unique characters, and the battle scenes are just absolutely fantastic. And you can definitely see how Norihiro Yagi has gained a lot of inspiration from Kentaro Miura in his art style, and his the character designs and monster designs and everything like that. Heavily inspired by Berserk is this series, and he's just absolutely brilliant. Coming in at number 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, we have number 6 is a series that I believe was a little bit higher last year, or maybe not, I'm not sure. That's Bakuman by Takeshi Obata and Tsugumi Oba, the duo that brought you Death Note. Out of Death Note and this, I prefer this. I much prefer this, even though Death Note is a lot darker. I prefer the lightheartedness of this, and you know the depth that the author goes into, you know, what it is to make manga, because this is practically a how-to guide on how to make manga, or at least how to get published. But told in a really endearing way. The characters are really endearing, even though there's some far-fetched elements like the love story and things like that. You know, it is really a great manga, and it ended on such a brilliant note. You know, it ended kind of too soon for me, which felt really bittersweet because I wanted to know more about, you know, their journey. But you know, from volume 1 all the way to the last volume here, volume 20, this has been an excellent ride. I sincerely I sincerely miss reading this series, you know, on like a monthly basis, you know, because I think the volumes were like released monthly or bi-monthly or something like that. But yeah, Bakuman, absolutely amazing series. Highly recommend it. Coming in at number 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Coming in at number 5, we have Full Metal Alchemist. I really wanted to push this series a lot higher on the list. I guess because it's in the top 5 now, you can basically just consider the top 5 equal number 1, because I just love them all equally. You know, Full Metal Alchemist is absolutely amazing series. I read it for the first time last year, which, you know, I was a very late comer to the series, but you know, from volume 1 to 27, I just kind of like read through the entire thing. I was actually quite skeptical about this series at first when I read the first 3 volumes. It's one of those series that, you know, it didn't hook me from the first 3 volumes, and you know, it's usually the first 3 volumes that makes me decide whether or not I should continue with the series. I'm so glad I continued with this, because it just gets better and better and better and better. Basically, have the Elric brothers, and you know, the basically alchemists, and the commit the ultimate sin in alchemy, and that's to try and transmute a human body. They try and bring their mother back to life, and it just goes disastrously wrong. And they're basically on a journey to get their original bodies back, because they lose like parts or all of their bodies. And it's just absolutely amazing. You know, the characters, the villains, the whole world that it's set in is just absolutely brilliant. You've got this like steampunky, you know, sort of Victorian-esque world that is set in. You know, it's just so good. I mean, I'm pretty sure that everybody's read this series, so you know, I'll recommend it to you anyway. I recommend you read this, but you know, everybody's probably read it. I'm probably like the last person on earth who read it. Okay, so coming in at number 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We are number 4. A new addition to the list, and that is Azumanga Daioh by Koyohiko Azuma. This is probably one of the funniest manga I've ever read. I absolutely love this manga. It's such a whopper as well. It's huge. 4 volumes in one. I think it's 4 volumes in one, or maybe 3 in one. I'm not really sure. Probably 4. But yeah, this is an absolutely hilarious manga. One of the first manga I also read that was in the 4-comer panel style, which basically, you know, like you read the panels down, and it's like basically it starts, you know, in one panel, and then towards like the 4th panel, it's just like the end of a gag. That's how the story goes on. You know, it's not really, there's no sort of ongoing story, even though there are sort of ongoing elements. But it's just a gag manga told, you know, through the eyes of, you know, high school girls. You know, their daily lives, you know, in school, and you know, the kind of things that they get up to. You know, just the comedy that ensues. It's just so brilliant, and I can't wait to watch the anime for this, because I found this absolutely hilarious. Sakaki right there is one of my all-time favorite female characters in manga. I absolutely love her character, but you know, I love all the characters like Chiyo, little Chiyo there. You have Tomo, I forget her name, and Osaka, one of the ditziest characters you could ever see in a manga, but she's just brilliant. All of them are really good. But yeah, that's Azumanga Daioh. That was recommended to me. I absolutely loved it. I just don't regret buying that at all. Okay, so now we're in the top 3. So coming in at number 3, we have something that has moved down a slot, I think, from last year, and that is Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin. I need to catch up on this, because I'm only on volume 6, and I think there's like 2 more volumes after this that are out, so I need to catch up. I'm currently in the backstory for Char and Sailor, and it's just so great. And it's so great. I can't express enough my feelings for how brilliant this series is. You know, just a masterpiece space opera, and it's like the first sort of space opera, you know, mech series that I've really experienced, and obviously the first thing Gundam wise that I've ever gotten into. But yeah, I absolutely love Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin, even though Amuro isn't really that great of a main character. It's just the world that it's set in. You know, obviously I'm saying that for pretty much every series that I'm saying. You know, it's such a great world. You know, the war that ensues, and all the characters and all the different factions that come together. You know, to basically, you know, just it's just a great war. You know, a massive epic war in space. and on Earth and just everywhere. Just he's just so freaking good. And what's his name? Yoshikazu Yasuhiko's artwork. He's just absolutely stunning. Probably what's really made me get into this manga as well is obviously because of the great presentation from Vertical. I absolutely love you, Vertical. You are the best. But yeah, that's Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin. And coming in at number 2, a big whopper here. I'm not sure if this is actually shonen or seinen. I'm gonna kind of go with shonen because it's like the age rating is like for like ages 13 and up. But I couldn't find online whether or not it was shonen or seinen, so I'm just gonna go with shonen, and that is Hayao Miyazaki's masterpiece Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. This is my second favorite shonen manga of all time, if you can call it that. This is a beautiful manga. Nausicaa is such an amazing character. Basically, it's set 1,000 years in the future when basically the human race has destroyed the world in like a really brutal war, which is referred to as the 7 Days of Fire. And basically, the world is like covered by 90% covered by like a poisonous forest, which is inhabited by giant like insects. And basically, Nausicaa is just trying to defend these creatures because people are trying to destroy this forest. But what they fail to realize is that the forest is actually slowly healing the earth, and it's just basically like man versus nature. It's like that ultimate long time battle after the human race has basically wiped itself out. Man still has a reason to play with Mother Nature, and it's just brilliant. It delves into so many harsh and just dark themes. It's just brilliant. I highly recommend Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. Now, number 1, I feel guilty for putting this at number 1. Everybody already knows what my number 1 is. It was my number 1 last year as well, and that's One Piece. I'm in a complex relationship with One Piece now because ever since the time skip happened, my enjoyment of the series hasn't been as great as it was before the time skip. I'm solely putting this at my number 1 for the majority of the volumes that I have, all the way up to like volume 55 or whatever it is, at the end of Impel Down or the Paramount War or whatever it is. I love all that, but after the time skip, it just fails to live up to how good it was before the time skip. But because I've got that great nostalgia for like the Skypiea, Baroque Works, Water 7, Thriller Bark, pretty much every arc before the time skip I absolutely loved. But when Punk Hazard and Dressrosa and Fisherman Island was just, I hate to say it, but it was just abysmal. Not really abysmal, but this wasn't that good. And I really hate to bash about One Piece because it's my favourite shonen, and it probably will be for many years. But I'm simply putting it at my number 1 for the arcs that I loved before the time skip, and I'll still love One Piece. I'll still continue reading it. This is a series obviously I will never drop because I want to find out how it ends. I want to see Luffy become the Pirate King. I want him to discover the One Piece, and just find out like what happened during the Void Century and all that. The lore and the history and the world that One Piece is set in, it's just absolutely amazing. Like the One Piece lore, it's just so freaking awesome. What can I say? I absolutely love One Piece. But yeah, that's been my top 10 favourite shonen manga for this year, 2015. I will leave last year's top 10 shonen manga in the description below. If any of the manga here interests you, I will leave a link to my book depository link, affiliate link in the description below. Basically, if you hit that link and you buy stuff off book depository using my link, I get a percentage of I get commission percentage off of the sales that I gone through. So yeah, it helps me out, and obviously you buy manga. Book depository is a great site to use. Free worldwide delivery, so anybody can use it anywhere in the world. And yeah, that's the book depository. And this has been me, Archangel Manga, and I will see you soon with my top 10 favourite seinen manga list, so look out for that.